The Soup Kitchen. Main characters. John, an unemployed everyman and veteran of Operation Iraqi Freedom. He carries the wounds of post-traumatic stress disorder, and he is missing his right arm from an IED. Michelle, black, liberal, atheist, lesbian, environmentalist musician. She was a young runaway who was taken up busking. Carter J. Warwick, an old, black, washed-up author with fond memories of his single success, which was followed by the misapplication of his wealth and almost immediate writer's block. He still speaks in eloquent tangents during the show, but he's not always quite there. Chapman, a mid-30s Guatemalan American and University of Chicago graduate with a doctorate in psychology and a crack addiction that derailed his life. For the purpose of the show, he generally stays sober, but occasionally relapses. He lacks practical wisdom, but knows a great deal of trivial information. Andy, mid-40s white prostitute with a crack and alcohol dependence that is obscured by her motherly and protective demeanor. It opens with a panning shot of a busy soup kitchen with a peculiar tapestry of homeless people. They wear all manner of once-discarded clothes. In the background, men and women pass through a food line with trays. The scene comes to John, Michelle, Carter, and Chapman at a table with one empty seat. Emptying a clear plastic cup onto the table by his tray and separating out the change with his one hand, John says,
$7.33, half a pack of peanut butter crackers, and 42-cent stamp.
They still sell 42-cent stamps?
No.
They'll end up nowhere, meaning back to you.
They should at least send it 95% of the way there. Then who would get the letter?
You have someone to send a letter to?
Not in particular.
Then what do you care? Nothing wrong with it coming back to you?
Good way to practice that left-handed writing. I'll send it here. What's the address for the soup kitchen?
Why you send a letter back to the soup kitchen? Getting to know himself. Oh? He's John. If he doesn't know that by now, it's not gonna start sticking anytime soon.
We used to analyze people based on their penmanship.
You know, I hear you can write the destination address for the return address and list yourself as the destination address. They'll return it right to the person you want to send it to.
Clever. Shame he doesn't have anybody to send it to.
And mail fraud is a federal crime. Jail's not a bad place for a meal.
Prison's a hell of a ride, though.
You're not homesick for the regimented days, are you?
If they let me back in, they've got more problems than the dozen wars they're fighting right now. I think they're about ready to throw in the towel on the war on drugs. I think the ground troops are ready, but nobody told the generals.
Hey, Andy, how's the business up in Washington Park? Business was fine till a cop showed up and had to give him a discount.
That's a travesty. No one's got a right to make a decent profit. Problem is all this deregulation. Working girl can't make a living selling tail these days. Back in the 80s, love was cheap.
And diseased. I had to stick with the kinky stuff back then.
How kinky?
No touching. Kinky.
Could you really make a profit like that?
Most of my overheads went into feathers, eggs, spent a lot on dishwashing soap and sugar.
For homemade bubble solution? What are the eggs for?
Some guys got a real kick out of blowing bubbles. That and watching me step on eggs.
Those were the days I'm talking about. You could blow bubbles and get a good egg smash and peep show for $10.
I think I've got an idea. Hey Chapman, wanna make some quick money? I hate the feel of eggs. Michelle? Carter?
I'm in. I'll do it for the nostalgia. I haven't stepped on a good egg in years.
Meet me at the 7-Eleven.
I've been thinking about playing a cabaret. I could use some practice.